Alrighty, people, what is happening? The beautiful people of the YouTubes. We appreciate y'all for being here with us. Got a good stream for you today. Today's stream is all about business. Alright? It's all about getting down to business. Alright, we're not playing around on this stream. We are helping people improve their Dynasty teams through the Dynasty Playbook. And we will get through as many team reviews as we possibly can, and going to be a lot of ideas shared today, a lot of trades that we've come up with, a lot of helping people decide what direction to go with their dynasty teams and the right pathway for them. And we appreciate you guys for being here with us. Be a friend, hit that like button on today's stream. We got a like goal of 50 likes. With your help, I know we can do it. What's up, Daniel Macy, who is in the building? What's up, Bajords? How's it going? DT and Michael and Josh and Maddie Lowe in the building. Booty Clap King. You know Booty Clap King is always lurking in the building. Someone's always clapping cheeks. All right. I'm going to just quickly let all of the people, let's say the first 5, know today that we're reviewing their team on today's stream.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Zach is doing that. We appreciate you guys. And if you guys want to get your team reviewed, obviously you can see that in the pinned comments.
Yeah, I'll go through that in a second and show them visually. Yeah. But do we have templates set up for some of these guys?
No, actually.
Okay, let's get those templates set up as well. What's up, Lazy Bones, Dirty Bird? Kevin says, appreciate you guys. Took home the ship last year. Thanks to you. That's awesome to hear. What is up, Dylan? Welcome in, Dylan. But yes, the whole purpose of today's stream is to get through as many team reviews as we can. To show love to the people who have shown love to us. And really, hopefully make them feel very valued for, them supporting us. And obviously for us trying to help their teams get in a better position. Now, if you're out there and you want your team reviewed, very, very simple. All right. You can see 2 ways to get your Dynasty Playbook. Now, the Dynasty Playbook is a direct guide customized to your team and league that tells you exactly what to do this offseason, exactly the moves that we would make, specific trade targets for your scenario, your situation. It's a complete game plan for your Dynasty offseason. And that is sent within 72 hours of when we review your team on the Flock message tab. Now, there's 2 ways you can get a team playbook. The first way is the best way, in our opinion. That's by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. Regardless, when you become a yearly Mother Flocker member with our promo code, you get our 2025 rookie report. All right, which is already up on the Flock website, but complete detailed breakdown of this class. And is going to be just continually updated most every month. I mean, I scouted Matthew Golden yesterday, for example, and that's definitely going to be coming, and it's going to be drastically impacting the way I rank this class because I kind of fell in love with him. But we're just going to continue to scout players throughout the offseason, and by the time your rookie drafts come around, you'll have everything you need. Now, you get our rookie report, but you also get a complimentary Dynasty Playbook. All right, when you become a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND, all the premium tools on the website, best bang for your buck. And if you want to purchase a review in the future, you get a discount as a member, right? So the other way is, regardless of what promo code you're using, you can use the pinned comment, which I'll put it in the chat again. Let's say you're on the promo code Flock or a different promo code, then all you need to do is go to the link in the pinned comment, go to team review. This is like our a la carte store. Hopefully you can, link your team up. If you haven't linked your team up or you're not able to, you can include screenshots. But link your team up, hit continue. Obviously, select your team. Make sure the draft picks are all correct. Hit continue again. Then you'll see Zach and Badaki from Fantasyland. Now, the base tier is an offline version, and members will have a discount on that. So this does not include like a live review. Just the graphic, which is very detailed already, will be sent to you. Some people prefer that because they don't want the league to, that they're in to see the live stream. I know a lot of people follow us in the same league. If you want it reviewed on live stream, it's just $10 more for us to prioritize you. And as you can see, we have a pretty good queue of people who are looking to get their team reviewed. So It's an easy way for you to guarantee us to review your team. Now, I want to quickly start off with this trade question from Ant, because these trade questions are very easy to get through. He says, Stingy Ant here. I'm a Jets fan, so I want to keep Wilson. I got this offer for London. Thoughts? So they would be sending away Drake London. They would be getting back Trey McBride and Chris Olave. I don't mind this personally. I mean, thinking about like a Trey McBride, Olave is a great buy low. It's a 10-team start 9. You know, let's have a look at his team. Well, he didn't link his team up, unfortunately.
No.
But in a 10-team league, I think smaller format, Trey McBride makes a really big difference. I think this is a pretty even trade, I'd say, for both sides.
Yeah, I like this trade for you. So, whichever way you want to go, if you want to keep London, that's fine. But if you want to get Trey McBride and Olave, let's say you have a lower tier tight end that you don't really feel confident in, this is a good tier pivot and getting a buy low wide receiver right now in Chris Olave.
Yeah. So overall, I'm pretty happy with either side of this. And if you need an impact tight end, like Badaki said, you can go with the Trey McBride side. All right, let's get to our first review here, which is Scrooty22. And if you are watching, appreciate you for being here. Be a friend, smash that like button. Simple way for you to help support the channel. Our like goal today is 50 likes. With your help, I know we can get there.
The Screwster.
All right. So, do we have a chalkboard for Scrooty? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. It's already set up there for you, and we'll break this down, and I'll read the context here. It says, this is the first year I tried Dynasty, and this is my team after it all. Would love help making it a contender roster. And he does have a screenshot to Sleeper, so we don't have his full team linked, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He says, my first are the 102 and the 104. Also traded the 110 Dobbs and Etienne for Sam Darnold, Blake Warren, and Jalen McMillan. He said, made another trade sending Worthy, Darnold, and a 25 third for Bo Nix. Is there any way? Okay.
That was in the team review section, I assume.
Yeah, that was in the team review section where you can see the messages there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't mind the 110 deal for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I don't mind the 110 deal for Sam Darnold either. Just wrapping my head around it. 110 Dobbs and Etienne for Sam Darnold, Blake Corum, and Jalen McMillan. So you get Jalen McMillan. I wonder when you did that trade, and if that was recent.
Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're not going to do this review today unless this guy replies to me. And the reason we're not going to do it is because they didn't link their league. We don't have their league ID. And the only thing we have access to right now is a screenshot of their team. We don't even have their starting lineup information. So I'm going to wait for them to reply because we just don't have enough information to do this review right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm happy to do that.
Let me reply real quick, but just react to people real quick, or just talk to people in the chat real quick. Sorry.
Just react to people real quick. That's all right. No stress. That means the showcaser is going to be next, and if you are here, the showcaser, please let us know. But we appreciate you guys. Ethan says, I got McMillan all leagues thanks to you, studs. Thanks to Zach. I wasn't a big believer in McMillan. I think I was really skeptical about, him being there with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and the long-term effect, but obviously that kind of helped out with his situation. Mike Evans missing a couple games, and so did Chris Godwin, them going down. So McMillan had a big opportunity to step up. But I think a big thing for McMillan to take the next step is going to be what's going to happen with Chris Godwin. I know that's kind of one thing I've been telling Zach, is Chris Godwin going to stay on this team, and is he going to be coming back from that injury and still being that guy? I think he potentially can. Does he get a 2-year, 3-year contract extension? I know he's an older wide receiver. We just saw Terry get a similar contract extension at that age, obviously with no injuries, right? Chris Godwin tore his ACL and then he broke his ankle. I think it's all going to depend if Chris Godwin does stay with this team. how McMillan's going to perform. But if not, once Mike Evans and Chris Godwin's gone, sky's the limit for the guy, really. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. Let's go to the next review. I will wait, and we will see if Scrooty is able to reply to us today. He should get an email because we messaged him.
Yeah. The showcaser is next.
Yeah. At the moment, we can't really view much for your league. So I'm going to wait until you reply to do it well. Okay, sorry. Go ahead with the next one.
All right. Showcaser here. He says, headed into my second year with this team, 108. 108 is the 106 and the 109 is the 111. Also prefer the offline team review. Okay.
Well, then let's do that. Let's do that one later.
Okay.
All right. Now it's 15. You're up.
Now it's 15. Here we go. We're going right through it here. He says, not sure what moves to make. This is Knobs team. Appreciate you, Knobs, and let us know if you are here. Knobs 15. He said, not sure what moves to make this off season. I like having the 102 and the 106. Traded Derek and a second for B-Rob and a first. Is that Brian Robinson in the first or Bijan Robinson in the first, which is the 106? Lost Tank Dell and Jonathan Brooks for next year already. 6 teams make playoffs, and the 6th seed makes a run to the championship this year, or made a run in the championships. Okay, and this is a 2-quarterback, 10-team start 10, which means that is a middle ground league. Basically all of our formats in our Dynasty leagues here as well. Superflex 2-quarterback start 10 league.
Okay. Yeah, 10 team start 10, like you said. We're looking at, like you said, middle ground. I'll put that in the chat for them.
Yeah, and I have a look at this team here. According to the rankings, you are currently ranked 6 out of 10. This is a 10-man league.
Yes.
Reese Football's Pieces is your team name as well. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Kyler Murray, Michael Penix, Dak Prescott there. Quarterback room's all right. Interesting to see what's going to happen with Michael Penix here, especially in the Superflex League. Has good depth at the running back position. So it looks like that B-Rob is Brian Robinson. So just a reminder, he traded Derrick Henry in a second for Brian Robinson in the 106.
Yeah, which I think, as good as Derrick Henry's been, I think most people would be happy with that to get the 106.
So you got Brian Robinson, Najee Harris, Jonathan Brooks, Braylon, the list goes on. They're not the strongest running back room, but maybe you're going to try and get some of these running backs in this 25 class. CeeDee Lamb, Marlon Harrison Jr., Lad McConkey, Michael Pittman, Tank Dell, and the list goes on. So you really only have 3 top wide receivers where you can start up to 5 wide receivers. So you do need maybe 2 other wide receivers or 3 other wide receivers that you can put here in some flex options and have some depth with Evan Ingram and Dallas Goedert as the tight ends here as well. So not an amazing team, not a terrible team. It's not,
for a 10 team, it's certainly not out of this world. There's some work to be done. Good amount of draft capital, though. Draft capital is probably like A minus, I'd say. I mean, to have the 102 and the 106 in the same class, A minus range. Overall team grade, your starting lineup is probably going to be Kyler Dak or Kyler Penix. Then I guess B-Rob Najee. No one real know at running back. CeeDee Lad. Then I think you would probably start Evan Ingram maybe. And then you would have probably a couple flex spots. Maybe Marvin, Pittman, Douglas. I don't know, but those picks are going to be really important. Right now, I would probably grade this team. It's either a C+ or a B-.
I would say C+ personally.
Yeah, it's in that range.
I think it could get there depending on the capital you have, but I would say C+ coming in. And I think with the draft capital that he has, the 102, 106, he has this first and 26. I think that's just maybe A-, a flat type of grade. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, now, as far as like your draft capital, on its own. We'll definitely come up with a plan and, you know, figure out what's going to work out best for you. Let me get this all kind of sorted for us. Let's see. Draft capital. And let's zoom in a little bit here so it's easier to see. I mean, it's definitely not terrible to be weak at running back considering the strengths of this class. You know?
Yeah, and then having the quarterbacks that you don't have to worry about. CeeDee Lamb, Marin, Ladd. Obviously, you lost Tank Dell for next year, essentially. So yeah, I guess it just all depends on who falls to you. Drafting a running back to back here, that could definitely be the case, or maybe a Luther Burden, or you get a Tet and then maybe somebody else at the 106. You know, Caleb Johnson or whatever.
Yeah. Is this Slim? Is this your team? Are you because this guy has? Oh wait, no. I think you're just talking about it there. Sorry, we're sorry guys. We're trying to give some focus and some love to these people who have, you know, signed up to support us financially. But we see y'all in the chat. We'll try, but we want to focus on these guys a little bit. I just thought this might have been his team. My bad.
I get you.
Yeah. So pathway.
I think this is a 1-year punt.
I'd put it sleeper personally because
A couple moves and you're right in the mix.
Yeah, I think like you hit on 2 running backs, and I think your quarterback room is pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
You have a solid core at wide receiver. I do think Harrison will bounce back. You get a couple running backs in there, I think you're a sleeper status. But, you know, I think it could go one of 2 different ways. Like if it's like week 8 and you're 1-7, probably start time to selling off some of these names like Evan Ingram and Dak Prescott, you know, Najee, like some of these different names. We might even be able to sell them before the year. But I think heading into the season, I feel like sleeper status is right for this guy.
We can rock with that.
If you were to stick at the 102, let's quickly look at the team again. I think CeeDee Lamb's your untouchable. I don't think there's another one.
I agree.
As holds, I think Marvin is a hold, personally. I think he's a very undervalued piece right now in Dynasty football leagues. There's not, I guess I could say Penix is a hold, but it's probably Penix.
Yep. Let's put him as a hold.
As far as drops, you can definitely drop. I mean, if you need to clear space, I'd be fine to drop a Cooper Rush, a Sincere McCormick, even though he had a little bit of role at the end of the season. I think you can drop Greg Dortch if you'd like to at this point. I feel like Stone Smart, maybe you want to hold on to him, but Tip Ryman you can definitely drop a long time ago if you need to clear some space. But at the 102, you know, if you stick and pick, right, it's all the same options, right? You know, your Burdens, Hamptons, McMillans, Johnsons, Hendersons, right? It's kind of that range. At the 102 or at the 106, it's probably whatever's left of these names. And then with these later picks, it's just true BPA. Now, in order to get max value, especially with your team, because we're not really competing, we don't really have any particular need. We could take wide receiver, we could take running back. We definitely need running back, but I don't think we need to force it if it doesn't make sense at the 102. I definitely think I'd be looking to trade back, you know, to, I'd say, the 103 to the 107 type of range. At the 106, I'd probably stick, but let's say 102, for example, and do we have their... The good news, this team is all linked up, so we can see exactly who has the 103 and everything.
Yeah.
So, for example, the 103 right now... Oh, the 104 is Big Tweezy. Like, I would definitely do Tracy and the 104. I know Tracy's a little bit, like, up in the air at the moment, as far as exactly what his future holds, if they are going to draft someone or not in this stacked class. But I would definitely do that. You could probably even add something on your end to get that deal over the line. Like would you add Braylon Allen? I would.
I feel like I would try in a different direction, like
Okay.
I would just try maybe the Adonais or the Polks or along those lines instead of Braylon.
He does not have Adonai Mitchell.
Are you looking at 103 or 104? Oh, you're talking about him giving away Braylon. Sorry, yes. I thought you meant him trying to receive another piece.
No.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'm happy to do Braylon.
All right. I think that could work out in your favor. I view those guys all in the same tier. I think that could make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And look, if the Giants draft a running back, I think you're fine because you're still in that same tier anyway. It's worth the risk. All right, let's keep looking here. The 108. Could you tier back?
106 maybe to the 108, right?
I'm going team by team at the moment.
Let's see who we have here.
I'd love to do like a T. Higgins tier back. The 108 plus T. Higgins, but we need to add something on our end. Like the 102 and what? Because T. Higgins really puts us in that position to compete. So maybe the 102 and would you do like Tank Dell?
Yeah, I would. No, I was gonna say Tank Dell. I was gonna even say,
Or you could also add Braylon Allen to that as well.
Yeah. Might be hard to sell that guy, but yes.
Yeah. It was funny because someone came to you and I were not very high on Braylon Allen, notoriously. And then someone came to our comment section after like the first 4 weeks and was like, see, you're an idiot. Braylon Allen was always a top 24 Dynasty running back and they victory lapped. And I was like, okay. All right, dude. Let's see how this works out.
Yeah.
How about like Bucky 110? I don't think that's actually crazy for the 102. Bucky and the 110.
I guess it depends on how people value Bucky. If someone is valuing Bucky like you, maybe giving up Bucky in the 110 is a lot.
Yeah, well, clearly I mean, have you looked at our comment section every day?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. If I think that would be really difficult, but if people value them like you, or if people value them like you, that would be difficult. But if they are saying it like the comments, then you could potentially get it done.
Yeah. All right, to 109. I like an Ayuk type of direction there. What about Ayuk and Njoku? Because he already has Kraft. For Ayuk plus Njoku. I feel like you're not maximizing value with that team yet. Let's not think about that team just yet. All right, the 105. I mean, I'd personally be willing to tier back for Jerry Jeudy. 3 spots.
So you get the 105 and Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I'd be willing to do that, but I can understand like there's risk in it. It's not exciting.
I feel like it would be more ideal to do 105 and Jalen. I feel like Jerry had a better overall arching season than Jerry. Like if you're the casual Dynasty player, we're excited for Jerry.
105 and Jalen McMillan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 105 and Jalen, I feel like that feels more in depth or more to par, in my opinion, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I think if we go that direction, I think you should be able to add the 205, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Let's keep having a little geese. The 103. I mean, there's just not going to be an. I mean, I would probably like. Would you tier down one spot for J.K. Dobbins or Trey Benson?
I'll do it for Trey.
Yeah, I think so too.
But not J.K.
Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense as well. The 107. I don't mind doing like a CMC tier down here and then basically putting yourself in a position to compete this year, like the 102 to the 107 and CMC. And then you can get a couple of running backs at the 106 and 107 to just kind of push you into that range. But it's also not really the direction we're wanting to go right now. We're kind of wanting to play middle ground.
Yeah, I wouldn't love the CMC move. I think I would just continue with adding, send the 102, get the 107, and maybe
future first.
Yeah, future first. I don't think some of these players are worth it was still not enough for getting the 107 in Waddle, the 107 in Zay. Doesn't feel like that's enough still.
I like these moves. I like these moves a lot.
Some of these work.
I mean, yeah. I love the Tracy idea. And the Bucky one is the one I'm the most obsessed with myself. But I think overall, like, let's just add this as a rule of thumb as well. The 103 to the 107 plus a future first. We would do any of those. And then if you want to go beyond that, let's say like to the 108 to the 112, you probably need 2 future firsts. Or 1 first plus a piece, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the best way to maximize value. But I mean, let's just play out this world. Let's say you do turn the 102 into Bucky Irving and the 110. And then at the 106, you grab Caleb Johnson or Travion Henderson. Let's just say Travion Henderson, for example, right? So now your team has Henderson, Bucky. We also have the 110, which we can turn into a Colson Loveland.
No, yeah, another tight end.
So thinking that through, Kyler Murray, Michael Penix, Dak Prescott, Bucky, Travion Henderson, Brian Robinson, Najee Harris. We didn't improve wide receiver yet, but we also added Colson Loveland or Tyler Warren or whatever the case may be. I mean, that's putting your team in a much, much better position, I think.
Yeah, I think this is great.
Now, I think names that we could try to sell right now that I wouldn't mind, just like, for example, Najee Harris, I think, like, and I see Tatum's comment. I'll get to you in 1 second and just give you all some information on that. Stay with me, Tatum. Najee Harris, I would turn into any second in any year if you can. Of course, right now I don't think anyone wants to buy him, so it might not be possible. I would do the same thing with Jonathan Brooks. I don't think it's worth selling him for a third, so you might as well hold him if that's the price, Yeah. So we'd do the same thing for Jonathan Brooks. And for Brian Robinson, I think I'd be willing to do the same thing as well. Maybe
any second.
Maybe I think mid-second, rather. So be a little bit more specific. I don't want a late second.
Sure. That makes sense.
For Tank Dell, I would put any second, any year range as well. I don't know how you feel about him, but I've kind of lost a lot of hope.
It kind of blew out his knee.
Yeah.
And broke his leg. Is just not okay.
Yeah. Outside of that, I think everyone else is a pretty decent hole. I mean, it goes without saying, but if someone still believes Braylon Allen is some difference-making running back, you can still you can try and sell him. Probably earlier in the year was the time to do that when people were victory lapping him. But I love the Bucky Irving and the 110 deal. I also love the Benson deal. I think that one's real sneaky. Is there ones that you want to highlight here?
Yeah, the McMillan one.
McMillan.
And just the 107, the future first, I think will be good.
Yeah. All right. I love that direction for this team. Of course, if you stick and pick, you're going to be getting young players that you can build around, but I like a combination of sticking at the 106 and then trading back from the 102 if possible. We told people to do this all last year. And a lot of the comments were like, wait, you're going to tell them not to get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison? It's like, well, yeah, they can still get Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels, and it worked out really well for those people. When you stop putting names to the pick and you view them as how to maximize value, it really, really helps. So,
yeah, I agree.
All right. I like this team now. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you'll get this within 24 to 72 hours.
Yeah.
Keep in mind it is a weekend, so it might be a little bit longer. But you should be getting that in your Flock Fantasy message system. So definitely stay tuned to that with the digital playbook in your message.
I'm just going to tell this guy, never mind, we just saw your comment that you wanted the offline version. We'll get that to you soon. Maybe we shouldn't hit complete on his until we send him the graphic, maybe. All right, next is J-Mac. And
yes, J-Mac.
To Tatum's question, no, there's no mock in this stream, guys. This stream is completely dedicated to just helping as many teams as possible, okay? But Tatum says, yo, boys, how do we get our team on the show? Very, very simple, guys. There's 2 ways you can get your team reviewed. And for Naubs, whose team we just reviewed, for example, he's going to get his team playbook, which will be completely customized to everything we just talked about in his review. He'll get his team playbook within 72 hours. It'll be in the Flock Fantasy Message tab. And if you guys have any issues on your graphic, like let's say a actual graphic error, like it says the wrong name or wrong photo, then just email us at fantasylandfootball@gmail.com. We'll get that fixed up for you. But he's going to get that team playbook, and we just reviewed his team. If you guys want your team reviewed, you want your team playbook, there's 2 ways you can get it. Number 1 is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. Now, that link is in the chat for you right now. Just put it there. When you become a yearly member, you get access to our 2025 rookie report. I know it says 24. It should say 25. 2025 rookie report. You get access to the team review.
That's on the drive, by the way. You can
I know.
switch that.
I know. I haven't switched it.
Yeah.
Access to our 2025 rookie report. You get access to a team review, the team playbook, all the premium tools on the website, and then, of course, discounts on any future team reviews that you want. Now, if you already are a member on the Flock site, then the other way is by just buying one a la carte. Okay? And it doesn't matter what promo code you're on, or if you don't want to become a member for whatever reason, you don't have to do it. You can just buy a team review a la carte. That's the pinned comment in the chat. And basically, it will take you to a site that looks like this. Click team review and link your team if you're on Sleeper. If you're not, then you can include screenshots, include your league ID if it's MFL, for example. But for example, if I wanted to review my Alpha Dynasty team, I'd hit continue. I would make sure and choose the right team, make sure my draft picks are correct. If not, edit it, hit continue. Then you will see Zach and Badaki from Fantasyland. The base model is an offline version of your team playbook. It's just $10 more to get a live team playbook where we review your team live as well. And that just helps us prioritize you. And also, a lot of people do really like the offline version where, you know, they don't want their league to see. So hopefully that makes sense, Tatum. Let me know if you have any questions. And let's get to the next one. Appreciate you guys. Like goal today is 50. Do us a favor. Hit that like button to show some love. Let's get to that 50 like goal. And let's help out J-Mac's team here. Go ahead and read his context.
I appreciate you, J-Mac. He says, a lot of people in this league don't understand the value of picks. So I've been able to make some very favorable trades to get my team. My 25 pick is the 101, and I'll be taking Genty. Before the playoffs last year, I moved Josh Allen for this pick, and it hit. Any offseason advice? Just won my league. First of all, congratulations for winning your league. Congratulations for having the 101. So you traded the 101 for Josh Allen, essentially. I'm really interested to see what your team...
In a Superflex league, we would all be like, what? That's terrible. But in a 1-quarterback league, that's a really, really good deal.
Yeah.
And he still won his championship.
And he won his championship.
And he's ranked number 1 in my rankings for his league.
This is a 1-quarterback, 12-team start 8. So this is meat and potatoes. Just your basic starting lineup: 2 flex, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, obviously 1 quarterback. Let's have a look at this team here from Sutton Death. Bo Nix, Bryce Young, Dak Prescott. I mean, getting Bo Nix and Bo Nix hitting, sending away Josh Allen. Bo Nix, who just finished as a top 6 quarterback. You know, what was he averaging? Over 16, 17 fantasy points per game.
Bo Nix was up there, like, from week 5 onwards, 21 points per game.
So it was a great flip for you there at the 101.
Yeah.
At the running back position, Breece Hall, Derrick Henry, James Conner, Trey Benson, the list goes on. So obviously Derek hit. Obviously you're going to be getting Ashton Genty on this team, which is going to boost the team to the next level. At the wide receiver position, Jamar Chase, the wide receiver 1, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London, Roma Dunze, Cortland Sutton, who's also had paired up with Bo Nix, which was amazing, and the list goes on there as well with Trey McBride at the tight end position.
We have the 101.
Honestly, yeah.
That's going to be locked and loaded Ashton Genty, especially for your team. There's literally no reason to do anything else with it. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason as a champion to not go out and grab Ashton Genty and just reload again. You know,
I completely agree.
think through that starting lineup with Genty. It's Nix, Genty, Henry maybe, or Genty Hall, or Genty Connor, one of them. Then Chase, Amon-Ra, then Trey McBride, and then your 2 flex spots would be London and one of those other running backs.
Yeah, Brees or Henry.
Stacked. It could be London.
With still having Rome. Yeah, and with having Rome and Sutton on the bench as well.
Yeah. So this is a great team. I mean, overall team grade. If this guy had all like the draft capital that Athenos typically has, I think he would be close. But I think he's just contender right now. Like you're contending for a while with this team. It's not windows open because you've already won, so we already know the window's open. But you're a contender pretty much every year. I mean, if Derrick Henry falls off, hey, here's Ashton Genty for you. So young wide receiver core, young tight end, young quarterback. You're just contending over and over and over and over and over each and every year right now. But you don't have the draft capital to be considered a Thanos. But you're a very, very good team. I mean, this is an A-flat team for me. I'll reserve the A+ grade for Thanos's only, but I think this is an A-flat team, especially considering the 101 is there. Draft capital grade, I'd just say like, I'd say like a B+ because he has a 101.
Yeah,
he has a first and 26, and it's not his own. It's Dirty Boys, who is currently ranked 10th. So there's a chance that the pick that he has is way more valuable than his own in 2026. That's smart. That's 200 IQ move. You're playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers. So I really, really like this team a lot. Definitely contender status. Jamar Chase is untouchable for this team. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I would actually say Ashton Genty. Like, I would not move Ashton Genty for anything on this team.
Sure. So the 101.
Yeah. As far as drops, you can definitely drop...
Taj Washington.
Well, people are picking up Taj because they don't know what's going on with Tyreek, but I think it would be Malik Washington who benefits. You can drop Taj. I think you can also drop Emmanuel Wilson. That's probably the 2 names I'd mention. If you need to drop anyone, you don't have to. I would definitely hold Rome Odunze. No reason for this team not to. And I would definitely hold Trey Benson, considering he has James Conner.
I'm probably gonna put on that list as well. Well, actually, no. Let's do that. Let's do those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Rome, Trey Benson.
Really, really good lineup. I mean, sometimes a team review is as simple as saying like, "Hey, you've built an incredible team. There's not really a reason to overthink this too hard." When I look through his roster, I don't see a reason to move Trey McBride. I don't see a reason to move a Jamar Chase, a Amon-Ra St. Brown, a Drake London. I don't see a reason to move an Odunze, Benson, maybe Henry if you want to get younger, but at the same time, like if you want to go out and go back to back, he's going to be a great guy to have.
I agree. Look, the only thing I would say in this team review, not only thing, but one of the things I've been saying for a lot of people is the 101. I know you said it's untouchable. I think if somebody is willing to give you a massive hole with crazy pieces, then depending on the pieces, I think you should listen to.
What logistically would that look like though, with his start 8-1 quarterback format? Because
my only thought process would just be like, if somebody were to come in and just say like, here is a Jahmyr Gibbs and a second or a first, or here's Jahmyr Gibbs and I don't know who's the wide receiver that we like, or Jalen McMillan. I think we would both take that.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. I would be very interested in that.
Or are you saying for Gibbs?
No, I'm saying for the 101.
Yes. What are you trading the 101 for though? Gibbs?
I'm saying I would be Gibbs and then a piece like a McMillan, Gibbs and something. Like if somebody comes to you like, I really want Ashton Genty because he went to my Dallas Cowboys or he went to my Vikings, you might have somebody on that league. That's only. I'm not saying I'm going to trade him because I agree it is untouchable. But if someone comes to you with a ridiculous offer, I think it should be worth listening. But you're only doing that for the top, like the top of the top,
Yeah.
right? Like you're only doing it for literally these names: Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Honestly, probably that's it. Or Brock Bowers, maybe, right? Like that's probably the only people you are trading the 101 for right now, because those are the guys that are worth the 101. Anyways, that's the only thing
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I just, yeah, if it's Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan, yeah, we can have a conversation. But outside of that, I just don't see a reason to move it, because
Team for sure.
with his team, he's already a champion, and he needs to infuse that running back room with some youth. I don't like the idea of going Jefferson, because we don't need Jefferson. As crazy as that sounds, we need Genty, and in a year or two from now, Genty's just gonna. If Derrick Henry falls off, if James Conner falls off, you're going to have to find a way to get a Gibbs or get a Bijan. And I just don't think it's going to be that easy. But, yeah, look, if you're going to do Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan in something, then I'm fine with that. Outside of that, I think you should stick.
I agree.
But, I mean, I don't really know what actionable advice I have for this team, because they've already built an absolute monster, and they don't have a lot of draft capital anyway. It's all very set in stone, I think, as far as how I would view the offseason. I guess if you wanted to try and pivot off of Derrick Henry now,
yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Then you could do that. I mean,
just depends on what you can get. Right now, Derrick is probably worth a late first, maybe.
I don't think contenders would sell him for late first, though. Like, if you can pivot off of Henry, where's Henry ranked right now? In he's RB18 for me.
Let me see.
On KTC, I think he's higher.
So on KTC, he is RB13, which is equivalent to a late 25 first. So if somebody in your league is a Derrick Henry or has KTC as a Bible, a late 25 first, that's maybe the 107 later. Or, sorry, 108 or later, let's just say. At the 108 right now, you could sneak a Travion. Would you? I would do Travion if I can guarantee that.
No, not for this team, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Just mix. I'd rather have the guy who I think can score 20 points per game next year.
And that I understand. Like, I can understand with this team, but I think
I'm more thinking like if we want to pivot younger, like a Josh Jacobs pivot, like get into that younger range. The Kyron Williams range. Would you do that?
Yeah.
And this is only if you want to get younger. Honestly, we're trying to figure something out for this team because you have no needs. Literally. I think I would sell like Amari Cooper for pretty much any second in any year. I don't think you would get that. I would also sell Amari Cooper for multiple thirds. Otherwise, you might as well just see where he goes in free agency.
Maybe we should give him names of running backs we should pivot to for Derrick Henry. Like, how far are you willing to go with this team context? Like, would you go Chuba Hubbard? Would you go Monty? Would you go Joe Mixon?
No, I was thinking CMC. I would go CMC.
Okay, we can go, CMC. Other names like Kenneth Walker. I know you mentioned Josh Jacobs.
I wouldn't go Ken Walker for his build specifically. But yeah, I think honestly sometimes the best advice for this team is play it cool this offseason.
Keep doing you, brother. Keep doing you.
Don't force trades just to trade, Like, you've already built an absolute monster. And I think sometimes we can trade our way out of that monster. Like, I don't even think I would trade Derrick Henry, but if I get CMC or one of these names, definitely I would be willing to look at it. But yeah, only trade the 101 if it's for Gibbs or Bijan. You only trade Derrick Henry for CMC or like a Kyron Williams, and if you can move Amari Cooper for multiple thirds, then I think you do it. Outside of that, dude, you're already number 1 ranked in our rankings by a significant margin. You've already won the championship. You've already got the 101, and you've got a 26 first from a lower ranked team. You've done everything to put yourself in a position. There's no reason to sell McBride. There's no reason to sell a Dunze who's underperformed. There's no reason to sell Benson who's underperformed. You run this thing back. That's my best advice, is to run this thing back, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this is great, man. This is a phenomenal team. Continue to do you. And good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. And that's crazy that you sold Josh Allen for the 101 essentially.
Yeah.
And that hit. And
yeah, and like let me be clear, because I agree with this take from Scribbles, Gibbs over Genty. I agree. Like, I just misunderstood what you were saying originally, Badaki. I agree. If you can trade the 101 for Gibbs or Bijan, you do it. But I don't want to do it for anyone else, because I think you have to get one of those 3 for this team. Genty, Bijan, Gibbs. I think those are the guys that really are the glue for this team long term.
100%. 100%. But we appreciate you there, J Mac. Obviously, if you're watching this, you will receive this within 48 to 72 hours. You will receive your Dynasty playbook graphic in the Flock Fantasy message system, so stay tuned for that. And phenomenal team.
Yeah, no, really, really nice team. Honestly, I'm a big fan of it. You should feel very proud of what you've built up there, my man. And like Badaki said, your playbook will be customized and sent to you in the Flock Fantasy. The little message tab on the review system, it'll be sent there within 72 hours. If you have any issues, email us at fantasylandfootball@gmail.com, and we'll make sure and get back to you. If you guys are watching and you want your team playbook, best way to get one is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. You get one complimentary, as well as our 2025 rookie report. I know it says 24. I just need to update the graphic. And you also receive the live version, by the way, when you are a yearly member. But when you guys submit your review, by the way, just put somewhere if you want it. Obviously, if you buy an offline version, we can't give you the live one. But if you buy a live version, but you actually wanted it to be offline, you can just tell us. Like someone did that today. The showcaser did that today. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And the other way is by buying one a la carte through the Flock Fantasy website. Again, if you want it live, just make sure you get that live version, that live tier. Okay. The next team we are looking at here is JFaz12.
Jay Fazzy, come on, brother. Talk it up.
Let me just quickly refresh and make sure we haven't gotten any message from Scrooty yet. Remember the first one?
Yeah, go ahead.
And we don't have any message yet, so sorry, continue. I just wanted to make sure if he had replied, we could get to it, and you can
get to it 100%. Jay Faz, appreciate you. Let us know if you are here with us live. If not, it's okay. This is a 2-quarterback, 12-team start 11, so this is a rolling deep, a deeper league. It looks like, and the context here says, I know my running backs are bad, but I feel like I have a very solid QB and wide receiver room to carry me far with decent running backs. This is my first year in our league, and I made a lot of trades to get rid of running backs and wasted vets to gather picks for big trades. Should I use my 103 and 106 on running backs even if I have to reach? Okay, so once again, 2-quarterback, 12-team start 11, a bit of a deeper league here.
Yeah, you are starting up to 6 wide receivers or 6 running backs. PPR non-tight end premium. He's currently ranked number 1 in my rankings when you look at his league. And I'll say this, if you guys have watched like our live streams and our rookie mock drafts and all that, I don't think a running back would be a reach at the 103 and the 106. In fact, it's probably what I would draft most often in my rookie drafts at this point. So I think that really fits your needs, at least from what we've heard you mention. But why don't you go ahead and have a look at his team for us?
Yeah,
and I'll get his
in Herbert
chalkboard all set up for us.
Is his name. All right, let's have a look here. Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, great quarterback room there for the future. All 3 young players at that quarterback room. At the running back room, like you said, not good. Jalen Wright, Marshawn Lloyd, Tyler Algier and Zach Moss, not the best, but with the draft capital, that can easily change. Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Rasheed Rice, Marlon Harrison, Jordan Addison, Debo Samuel, and the list goes on there. So a very good wide receiver room, the best here in the rankings amongst your league with
Rightfully
Evan
so.
Ingram and Kyle Pitts at the tight end position there. So you also have the 103, the 106, the 207, the 307, and the 406, but you do not have your 26 first.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that until now.
Mm-hmm.
Where did our
He has
26 first go, I wonder?
I wonder.
Well, that, I mean, to me, I'm not claiming this is like a Windows open team because it's old, but that to me indicates a Windows open because there's no reason not to try and win this year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I think this is a Windows open pathway. Again, most of the time we use that terminology for like a team that's full of a bunch of veterans and there's no time to waste and let's just go out there and compete. But for your situation, it's just more like there's no benefit to not competing completely this year. You wouldn't, like, if you barely miss the playoffs and you're like, well, at least I have a top 6, it doesn't matter because it's not yours. So I think this is kind of a Windows open roster. Draft capital's pretty good, but we don't have our first in 26. I wonder where that went. But I would probably rank it now without your 26 first, more like a B minus.
Draft capital?
Yeah. Just because I like having that control over my future. And like I like to have the ability, like imagine Herbert goes down with an injury and then Chase and Rice who went down, you know what I mean? And then you're like, oh shit, I'm 2-4. And now I can't control my future. I can't go to the guy with my first round pick and be like, hey, I kind of want that back now because I'm just telling them that I'm rebuilding. So, or not rebuilding, but punting the year. So anyway, all right. Definitely Jamar Chase is untouchable for this team. And honestly, let's throw in Puka Nacua. I think you would have to send me an absolute farm for Puka Nacua on my teams right now. Like he's like, if Matthew Stafford was younger, you can make an argument he would be a tier 1 asset right now. I think you can probably drop Trey Tucker at this point.
Yeah, Trey Tucker. I put Kayshon Boutte, Zach Moss, and AJ Bardner.
I like AJ Bardner. I'd like to keep him.
Okay, let's try to give him 4 at least.
I mentioned this before, but like when Noah Fant's been out, he's been very serviceable.
Right.
I'd rather lose Tucker, Boutte.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need to drop anyone else. So even if we have to leave something blank, I wouldn't suggest him to drop anyone else.
That's fair. And then some holds. We have
Rice, for sure.
Rice and Marlon Harrison. That's what I got so far.
Yeah, those are fantastic holds. If you need any more,
what we can also do is put maybe Jordan Addison as a hold.
I was going to say Jalen Wright because Raheem Mostert moving on.
Jalen Wright. If he can squeeze in one more, that'll be great. If not, all good.
Yeah, I would also say CJ's a hold at this point because he was the biggest sell high for me all last offseason. But at this point, I think everyone's come back down to earth.
Okay.
All right.
So we got enough there.
So thinking through this team, here we are. We have the 103, we have the 106, the 207. If you were to stick and pick, I think this is a perfect team for one of these running backs, right? Your Hamptons, your Johnsons, your Hendersons. Yeah. This is the perfect team to get 2 of these names in the first 6 picks. Let's say it's Henderson and a Hampton. All right, let's say that's what you ended up with. That was your haul from these top 2 picks. And then, you know, we can go ahead and play around with the 207. You can also add running backs there. You know, names that come to mind are your DJ Giddens of the world, right? Your Samsons of the world, Scataboos, your Neils, those type of names come to mind. We were putting Nick Singleton here a lot, but unfortunately he's returned back to school, right? So, and then I think if you were to switch it up, I'd still use these late picks on like flyers, so with option number 2, which won't be stick and pick, it'll actually be, I actually don't think I would trade back with his team. Do you know what I mean? Like, I actually think I want to
Well, you want the
stay.
running backs, yeah, and the only way you would utilize this is maybe maximize, well, not maximizing, but trading for vets or proven players.
Yeah.
So maybe that is the change there instead of maximizing.
So we can look at that option. Honestly, the more I think about this team, the more I feel like option one is the path you need to take. But I mean, let's just say, like, for example, right, that, okay, and I'll write this out as well. If running backs get worse than expected draft capital, tier down from the 103. Does that make sense? But if running backs get better than expected, you know, keep the 103 plus the 106 and take running back. Does that make sense? Like, for example, right now I think there's a possibility that 3 running backs go in the first round. I feel very confident that we will have 3 in the second round. But if there's only Genty and then in round 3 our next running back comes off the board, we do need to start pivoting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do see Wamper's question in the chat, and I will get to that as well. I see one of our community members, WG, is trying to help out as well, but we'll explain that in a second when we're done with this review. Appreciate you being here, man. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But let's just play out the scenario where we do want to maybe move the 103. And the first thing that comes to mind is Bucky Irving. Now, I don't think he's going to cost that based off what the community says right now. But
Where's Bucky on keep trade cut? Let's see.
in a start 11, by the way, I think depth definitely matters. So would you do like a 103 and or would you do Bucky and, like, I almost want to say Jaden Reed, but I'm hesitant. What about Bucky and the 112? I would do that.
Bucky in the 112 because that can be a tight end, that can be a Mika, that could be another running back, and you can get more depth at the running back position there if there is somebody that falls. I like Jaden Reed, but I actually think they could draft a wide receiver, not because I just think they're in that
with
sweet
Watson
spot.
going down, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're in that sweet spot for Mbuka personally. If he does go in the first round, or like you said, you fell in love, like Matthew Golden, if he goes there, or other people have some other wide receivers going in the first round. So I think, what was it? Dane had Ellick going in the first round.
Yep.
So I just think they're in that sweet spot to get another wide receiver there.
Yeah. I actually like that move a lot. Okay, so 103, we need to shoot for this higher range. That's why I said Bucky first, but like Achane?
Yeah, Devon.
I don't think you get more than Achane though, and I would have Bucky ranked higher than Achane. I know that's not everyone. So I don't love it. Like, do you think you get Achane Judy? I don't think you could, but do we just say try it?
I think it just depends on how somebody values Jerry Judy.
Yeah.
I think they can technically get it done because people don't believe Judy is going to get a quarterback if they go. Like, it just helps the argument if Travis goes there or Abdullah goes there, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could throw in like your 307 to try and sweeten the pot a little bit, but I don't think most people, based off what I've seen in the comments, I don't think it's possible, but I just want to throw it out there because we want to give you every opportunity to open a door. A lot of people will close these doors in your face, but if you're in an active, like, respectful league, then you'll be fine. Okay, so we talked about HN. What about Taylor and Brees? I don't love the idea of Brees, but we'll think it through. So this guy is a 101 and the 104.
Yeah.
I don't like this move.
Yeah. I'm not in love with it either.
If we did Brees, I'd need more in return because obviously there are some concerns that are valid. I just don't see a deal happening with this team. Like Brees, Mark Andrews, maybe, but I just don't.
I'm not in love with it.
Yeah,
like, I don't want.
I'm not
I
in
wouldn't
love
want
with
to
it
force it. Like it just really depends on how, once again, you value some of these players. Like I feel
Yeah.
like somebody would do Brees and Pickens.
Let's get to the 106. This must be yeah. This must be Scrooty in the chat, by the way. Hey, we'll do your team next, my friend. Okay, awesome. I see you, dude. We'll do your team next. That's awesome. I'm glad we're able to do that.
That's
But yeah,
sick.
should we transition to the 106 here and think that through? Because I think that might give us a little more flexibility.
All right, let's see who has the 106.
He does. I'm more saying like we trade that for a running
Let's
back.
transition to the 106. Okay, yes. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yes, let's do that. All right, so 106, trading it for a running back.
That more feels like Taylor Brees range.
Yeah, that feels a little bit better there in that area. You could do Kyron from maybe the 106.
I am open to it if we have an add-on.
Yeah.
What does Kyron Williams' team look like?
Let's find out. Where you at, Kyron?
He
Kyron's
is
on
BVCIC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do like Mike or Kyron and Mike Evans?
I would. I would do Kyron Mike Evans. I would do Kyron and Calvin Ridley.
I was almost thinking as well the 102 or 201. Is that what it is? 201.
Yeah. That he has to add on. You mean
Kyron in the 201?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
You said Ridley.
Yeah.
I would be a little more hesitant with Ridley, but I get it.
I think just in hopes a new quarterback, that would be exciting. If not, I like Bateman. I feel like I don't think it's enough though.
No.
I like the player.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the 106 gives us a ton of flexibility compared to those other picks. Who has Jacobs? Who has Josh Jacobs? Because you might be able to get more than Jacobs. Like, would you throw in like a Godwin, maybe?
For the 106, Josh Jacobs and the 106.
Josh Jacobs and Godwin for the 106.
Yeah.
You could also do Josh Jacobs and Mark Andrews. And instead, and what we could do is add something to our end to make that happen, like the 207 or something.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that as well.
Yeah, I like these ideas. I mean, overall, though, again, we're trying to give you every option you have, but I personally think I would rather keep the picks. I just wanted to play out both scenarios for this team. I'd rather keep the picks. I don't think with your original message that it would be a reach. I don't think it's a reach to pick running backs at the 103 and the 106 this year. I think that's their range. I think they are the strengths. They're the stars of this class. So, yeah, I think that's how I would play it out. I mean, you know, again, if you have a Hampton and a Henderson on your team, then you've got a starting lineup of Herbert, Stroud, Hampton, Henderson, Chase, Puka, Ingram, Rice, Marvin, Addison, Debo.
Yeah.
And then who knows what you do with your second rounders, but I think that puts you in a great spot. Now, of course, if you want to go maybe just Hampton and then the 106 you get a solidified like Breece Hall, that is also a really great option as well. But either way, I think you're in a really good spot, my friend.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. And you will receive this within 48 to 72 hours in the Flock Fantasy message system. Okay, keep that in mind. You'll get a digital playbook on there. And we appreciate you. I think the last thing we need to do is highlight at least 4 trades just in case he does want to trade.
Yeah.
I personally like the Bucky Irving one that you said.
Same.
I like the Kyron Williams with Mike Evans, excuse me.
I like the Jacobs Andrews trade.
Yeah.
And I like the H.N. Judy trade as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool. All right, let's
Awesome.
get to Scrooty here, who we now have his his information. But just quickly, yeah, so Whomper, you know, he had it explained by WG. WG did a great job explaining that. And then he says he doesn't see it in standings. Basically, you can't view it on desktop. You have to view it on a phone. And what you do is you go to standings in your league. And then, let me pull it up. So you go to league. You go to right by standings. There's a button that says detail. And then there's a column that says max points for on the right side, if you can see that. And that max points for right there, you just have to sort by it. Right? And then we do reverse of the max points for to determine the top. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Was there anyone else that we were going to reply to? What's up, sub to PD Pie? What's Gucci? Welcome in. But yeah, it's awesome that we have, I agree, D-Stone. It's awesome that we have Sean here. And yeah, Sean, I would definitely suggest, by the way, just for your sake, go to the My Teams feature on the Flock site. All right. Once you're in the My Teams feature, I just think this is going to benefit you a lot because it's going to make your life easier if you ever want to get team reviews again or even ask questions and link your team. Click add new team, right? Sleeper team you have. So enter your sleeper league ID. And that's just going to make your life easier when you go to, like, let's say you were to get another team review. Not that you have to, right? But if you wanted to get another team review, you automatically link your team. It'll automatically link your entire league. You choose your team name. Make sure your rookie picks are correct, right? And then obviously you got Zach and Badaki here. And as everybody knows, this is the baseline offline version. The baseline is offline. It's just $10 more to get the live version of the review. So anyway, just to help you out, and if anybody's watching, you can actually view the My Teams feature for free. All you need to do is just sign up for an account. Use our promo code LAND, L-A-N-D, and you can use the My Teams feature for free. You know, like the prospect feature, you will not be able to see at all. And some of these things will be, you know, behind a paywall, obviously. But yeah, okay. Sweet. Let's go to Scrooty and go ahead and read this out again for us.
Yeah, appreciate you, Scrooty. Thank you so much for being patient and now being with us, which is awesome. It's always good when someone is with us during their live review. Since this is my first year, I tried Dynasty, and this is my team after all. Would love help making it a contender roster next year. And correct us if we are wrong, if there's anything that's wrong here now that you're with us. This is a 2-quarterback, 10-team start 10.
Yes, I pulled that up on Sleeper as well, by the way, or on KTC.
On KTC, yeah. So this is once again Superflex Start 10, which this is a middle ground format here, meaning that you can start up to at least 3 flex spots there for
What's up,
your
Albert?
team.
Welcome in. Yeah, that's a really nice medium ground, I'd say. Big fan of that type of format. All right, so let's have a look at the team.
MVP.
Yeah, J-Love for MVP. You are currently ranked #1 on KTC's database, at least. We don't have you synced up through Flock Fantasy, but we'll use their site for your review. And go ahead and walk us through it again. Superflex, 10-team, start 10.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So first out of 10, which is awesome. J-Love for MVP.
Why do you have that team name, by the way, Sean, without J-Love? Are you just a Packer fan? Or did you have him and you traded him away? I'm curious.
I don't know. We'll find out. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Sam Darnold. So you had multiple picks last year. You had the 101, the 102, and probably the 105 or 106 last year, which is glad that you hit Jaden Daniels.
Hell
Caleb
yeah.
Williams is still coming up, which is awesome. And J.J. McCarthy hopefully has a good run. And then you have Bijan, Bucky Irby, Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks. Once again, a lot of picks last year, even with Braylon Allen, Blake Corum, and Isaac Horrento. You had a lot of 2024 picks, which is awesome. At the wide receiver position, Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas, Roma Dunze, Xavier Worthy, Jaden Reed, Jalen McMillan,
This
Xavier
entire team is built around 2024.
100%.
Actually, insane. Let's think about this. 1, 2, 3 players. Four from Bucky, 5 from Trey, 6 from Jonathan Brooks, 7 from Braylon Allen, 9 from Blake Corum, 10 from Isaac Horindo, all right, 11 from Brian Thomas, 12 from Ron Madunze, 13 for Xavier Worthy, 14 for Jalen McMillan, 15 for Xavier Legette, 16 for Troy Franklin, 17 for Luke McCaffrey, 18 for Jermaine Burton, 19 for Brock Bowers, 20 for Ben Sinnott, 21 for Theo Johnson. 21 of your players are built around 2024.
You had 21 picks in last year's
And what
draft.
a class to build a team around.
You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 first-round picks last year. Maybe 8, depending on where you got Benson and Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But anyways,
good news is we have 2 firsts in 2025. Sean, if you could put out in the chat exactly where those picks are, that would be great to give us a good indication.
He said my first are the 102 and the 104. Let us know if that is correct.
Okay, gotcha. Let me write that down then. 102 and the 104.
Yeah, he put it in the chat message there on the Flock Fantasy website. Okay. With Brock Bowers, obviously, and Jake Ferguson. So this is a phenomenal team. No doubt about it. I think he would definitely be first in our rankings.
Yeah, he would be first in our rankings for sure.
Josh Allen, Kylan, Jameer Gibbs, Josh Jacobs, Malik Ladd. I mean, yeah, you have Brock Bowers as QB1.
Okay, so he also has multiple seconds in 26. He has his own first in 26 and 27, which we love. He has another second in 25. Where's that second in 25 from G. Winsel? Tell us in the chat. Where's the third? The thirds don't really matter. He has 2 thirds, but it just doesn't really. We don't.
Yeah. What a third round picks?
I mean, they matter. I'm not sure in this class they matter, but they matter.
They mattered last year.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll wait on him to give us a little more information there. Your untouchables. How about your entire fucking roster? Excuse me. Bro.
This actually might be the first 4 untouchables we've ever given.
This is the most untouchables we've seen in a team review so far. Daniels is untouchable. Bijan is untouchable. Jamar Chase is untouchable. Brock Bowers is untouchable, and those are all unquestioned. You could add Brian Thomas.
Let's do the not obvious ones. So, we think this is obvious. Brian Thomas.
No, I think you add the obvious ones as the untouchables. I think you put on the graphic Daniels, Bijan, Chase, Brock, because that's just the true answer. As far as holds, Roma Dunze is an obvious hold. He's the best buy in Dynasty right now at the wide receiver position, probably. And then you could actually say so many other names for holds. I think Trey Benson's a great hold. I think Ben Sinnott is a good hold.
Who was the first
hold? JJ. Huh?
Who was the first hold?
Roma Dunze.
Rome. Yeah, okay.
JJ's a great hold. My wedding ring falls off the table.
I think that's about it because we have four untouchables, 2 holds, and now 2 drops.
All right. I wouldn't drop anyone on this team if you had to, Jermaine Burton, because the guy literally, if you could write up a book, you know how they say how to do your rookie year for dummies, how to completely destroy your rookie season for dummies. He would be the author of it. Yeah, I don't understand what this kid is thinking. Jermaine Burton would be the one you could drop, but I don't think I want to drop anyone on this team, honestly.
No. Yeah. I'm down. Let's put Jermaine Burton there. Then you can sell Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy maybe. Okay.
By the way, someone said I have the worst Dynasty team in the history of Dynasty teams. I'm scared to submit. James says that.
No.
Hey, if you submit, just get ready, for some real honesty. I mean, We've had times before where people have submitted a Dynasty team review, and we've been like, hey, I'm sorry, but this is going to hurt. All right? It's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. No, we've literally had a Dynasty team review before. Do you remember where we said to the person, I'm sorry, but you need to leave this league. This league is not worth your time.
He had nobody on his team. He had no picks in the next 2 years. It was like, why are you in this league?
Everyone had his future first. Like in 25, 26, 27, everyone had his future first.
James.
We're like, I'm sorry, but the best thing when you bought this review for your mental health is to tell you to leave this league, and I never want to leave a league ever. So it can't be worse than that. Anyway. Okay. So he has a good amount of draft capital. He has 2 firsts. I think the draft capital we can give like an A- type of range. The overall team, I mean, I think this is our first. Guys, tell me if I'm wrong, because we've never given out a Thanos since we started the team playbooks. This is review number 48, but technically it's review 50 because we did it 2 teams before it. I think this might be our first Thanos. I don't know, though. The wide receiver room isn't strong enough to be Thanos.
So I would say I really wish we can submit this on our website so we can have a little bit of a better understanding. I don't think the wide receiver at Thanos I have.
Yeah, Thanos. Yeah, it's just not the right wide receiver room for it.
I don't think the QB room is Thanos outside of Jaden Daniels. I think they could be Thanos.
I'll back off. You're right. You're right.
You know,
it is a strong contender though, and I'm gonna give it an A-flat grade. An A-flat grade. It's about as good of a team that you could have right now, about as young as a team that you could have right now. You have the tight end one, you have the wide receiver one, you have the running back 1 or 2, you have my quarterback 1. I mean, across the 4 positions, you have either number 1 or number 2 player at that position. You're looking fantastic. You have good draft capital. You have built an absolute monster here, Sean. You should feel fantastic. And by the way, you did it with only 1 Green Bay Packer and Jane Reed. I guess Dontavion Wicks is there as well. Is there anyone else as a Packer? No. So good job. I mean, you weren't biased. Oh, Luke Musgrave. You know, you weren't a biased Packer fan either. But yeah, I love this team. I mean, like I said, A flat grade. B draft capital is A minus. The pathway is very clearly a contender. There's no reason to not go out and contend for the next 5 years. In fact, if I'm in your league, I'm probably like concerned because I don't really know how I'm going to catch up to you. For example, my pleasure 16. I mean, brother, just give up, man. I'm kidding. But a start 10 lineup, your starting lineup probably right now is Jaden Daniels and maybe Sam Darnold at that point. Then a Bijan Bucky, then a Chase Bryan, then a Bowers, and then we had 3 more players we can start. So names like Jalen McMillan, we would have started at that point. We probably would have started Xavier Worthy.
Where'd you finish?
And then
Sam, out of curiosity, or Sean.
And then Jane Reed. I don't know. But this is a great team. Like I said, strong contender.
Oh my gosh, he has Bo Nix. He traded Darnold Worthy in the 305.
When did he say that?
Sean, trading Darnold Worthy in the 305 for Nix should be going through soon. So you don't have Sam Darnold. Oh, you don't have Caleb Williams anymore.
Okay. It's getting closer to a Thanos, Spadaki.
Finished 6th this year, most likely because I kept trading during the season. I would say this. If Rome Odunze had, like, a Brian Thomas year, this is Thanos. I think he's still off. Well, actually, no. How many starters is this again?
It's to start 10. And I think start 8 we would have been there.
Oh,
okay, hold on. So
100%.
Okay, so hold on. So he sent
He has Bo Nix.
Xavier Worthy. He sent Sam Darnold and a 3rd. That's a hell of a discount for Bo Nix. Wow.
When'd you make that trade out of curiosity?
Wouldn't have been recently. Either way, it would have been updated, you know. So let's think this through again. Like Daniels,
maybe
Nix.
Week 1.
Still has McCarthy and Caleb. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Wow. Is this a 10 team?
Hold on, I'm just double checking. So yeah, there was another trade that he did. Looking at the Flock Fantasy message, also traded the 110 Dobbs and Eaton.
That's already reflecting though.
Yeah, for Sam Darnold, Blake Corman, Jalen McMillan. Okay, so 110 and Dobbs and Etienne. He did trade away a Packer. Actually,
good job.
Yesterday, actually, he offered it to me randomly, and I said I wanted Nix, and he offered it.
Hell yeah. I love that.
And that's accepted already? Like that's going through? Like, or is that still pending? Or it has been accepted?
I think he's saying it's pending. I don't know.
Or it's gone through, it just hasn't reflected on keep trade cut, maybe.
It could be. But either way, that is making this team really close to a Thanos, honestly. I mean, let's think through these draft picks real quick. We have the 102 and the 104. So right now, it's either Tet McMillan. It's the same guys, all right? Nothing has changed if you're going to stick and pick.
Who can we get for the 102? Let's make
That's what I want to think through, but I just have to go through the rhythms of the ocean, right?
Who can we get for the 102 right now? Let's see what keep trade cut has.
But let's say you ended up with a McMillan and a Hampton. I mean, that would be a great haul for you. I mean, then you have your starting lineup, which would look like Daniels, Knicks, Bijan, Bucky, Chase, Brian, Brock, Tet McMillan, and then you would probably be able to flex Omarion Hampton, and then your last flex could be one of Adunze, Worthy, Reed, McMillan, one of those names. That's already a very good starting lineup.
Yeah, he says he has a 206 as well, by the way.
Okay, well, I forgot about that. I mean, embarrassment of riches. Like, hey, just in case you forgot, I also have the 206. I'm also just dominating this league in every sort of way I can. Just want you to know that. But yeah, the 206, I mean, you could get another running back there. That's probably a great range for a running back. Again, I'm just going to put true BPA. Like, we'll find out in our rookie report what that is after the draft. But yeah, that's a great scenario on its own. But what if we were to trade for
107, 102, 104? According to Keep Trade Cut, just to give you a little thought process here, an early first, even though they don't have individual first, is ranked around players above this early first: Marvin Harrison, Ladd McConkey, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. They also are saying Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, and T. Higgins. Which is
WG just left a comment that I thought was perfect, actually. He says, he's Thanos, he just needs to acquire the time stones. So he's Thanos 2 movies before Endgame. Right now.
Sure. So he has the title.
He's got the stone. Now he just needs to find the other stones. He's got his minions ready. That's perfect, actually. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if we were to move the 102, what I want to do is I want to go to Flock Fantasy Expert Consensus Rankings, and I want to see where Consensus has the 102. Let's see. Consensus has the 102 around this range. London, Knicks, Stroud, Caleb, Marvin, JSN, Ladd, AJ Brown. That's the kind of range they have the 102 at. I mean, I would definitely send it for London or Nico. I think the London or Nico would be perfect.
Yeah, I like that.
Like Nico, honestly, Nico Collins would be a dream. What does a Nico Collins team look like? And we can add something to make this work, because then you add a Nico Collins to this team and you can't tell me it's not a Thanos. Okay, yeah, we have to look through individually here.
By the way, one thing I was realizing that you could potentially do, I don't know if it's worth it. Why don't you just link the sleeper league onto your team and then
I thought that too, and then remove it later. Yeah, you know what? That's probably easier, because, I mean, with all due respect to Keep Trade Cut, our team reviews,
it's just so much
better now. It is like they've really paved the way in a lot of ways. But shout out to our Flock Fantasy community here, because we've really, I think, overtaken most sites now. Okay, yeah, so I have your team here. Jordan Love for MVP. You're very clearly number one with my rankings implemented. By the way, this is where your positions rank in my rankings on Flock Fantasy.
Can you let me know?
You ready for this? Okay. Quarterback is third, but it doesn't show Bo Nix yet, so it's going to be higher. Running back is number one. A wide receiver, he's ranked number one. At tight end, he's ranked number one. And in draft capital, he's ranked number 1. So, if this isn't a freaking Thanos, if we make 2 moves, I don't know what is. But I want to find Nico Collins, and we can just search for that. This is the great feature of our site. Nico Collins. This little slut is going to give us Nico Collins. We're going to find out a way to get Nico off your team, boy.
Gosh.
I want to try and send... I mean, would you do Worthy and the 102? And then we want Nico plus some small kicker?
Sure.
And that small kicker could be... like the 207? Right? I mean, imagine that deal alone. Imagine acquiring Nico Collins on that team. I think you're a Nico Collins away from a freaking Thanos, dude. Okay, so Nico's an option. I mean, Neighbors would be incredible. I'd be willing to pay up to make it happen. I just don't think anyone who owns Malik Neighbors is going to sell him. Like, honestly, I don't think there's a soul who owns Malik Neighbors that is going to sell Malik Neighbors right now. But what if we added the 102 and Xavier Worthy plus something else?
Sorry, Steven. You'll be okay, I promise you. We'll promise.
Oh, he doesn't have Worthy
anymore. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So instead of Worthy, make that Reed. Sorry. Make that Jaden Reed instead then. And I would also add in... Donald is gone, but we have McCarthy. I just think McCarthy and Caleb aren't guys I want to sell right now. That's the problem with this. I think you have to sell them at the right time. Yeah, I don't think you can get Neighbors. I actually don't think it's possible. But London is acquirable. I think we'd have to do the 102 and Jaden Reed for London and something else. The return can be higher than what Nico was. So let's have a look at where London is. He is on team 6. Like London Judy?
Yeah, that's fun. London Judy, that's London Judy, London down, and then maybe not the Downs.
Or you could do it straight up for the 102 as well if need be. I mean, I don't think... Would you trade the 102 and the 104 and Jaden Reed for Malik Neighbors? I just don't know about the starting lineup. Makes me feel like we need to keep some depth here.
Well,
I don't think you should do that actually, because again, we don't have Worthy. We would have Chase, Thomas, Neighbors, but our starting lineup is a start 10, right? So it would be Jaden, Nix, Bijan, Bucky, Chase, Neighbors, Bowers, Thomas. I don't know. I think you could do it, but because you could still play around with quarterback 3 in a trade.
Yeah, I am thinking. I feel like the way I was thinking it is getting the 10, the 102 and the 106, or what was it, the 104 that he has. Getting Malik, and then a small piece. Is that Jameson Williams? Is that
well, you're saying only the 102 and the 104?
Yeah, or we can add something to the 102 and then get Malik and I don't know, I can't see the team. You can add a smaller piece. Once again, let's just say he has, we said Jerry, or we said Chris Godwin,
right.
or
I mean,
we
they
said
have
Sutton.
Pacheco maybe, or the 204.
Would you do that for Yeah, see, Waddle just feels way too.
I just don't. I don't even know if the Neighbors owner is going to entertain the 102, 104, and Jaden Reed. That's the problem. Straight up for Neighbors. Neighbors might not be the right path here. It might be a Nico and London path for you, my friend. Let's just have a look at... I want to look at the worst team real fast and see if we can take advantage of them. My pleasure, who has CeeDee Lamb. Okay. Let's throw them the 102 and the 104. And... oh my gosh, can we do this? What does his quarterbacks look like? Okay, how about something crazy like this? 102, 104. Okay, we have Brooklyn making an appearance on the live stream. Does Brooklyn have any ideas?
Brooklyn says, "Go the New York Football Giants." Say, "Go Giants." He's literally staring at you right now. Like, holy shit. All right. You can continue.
He's like, what's going on? 102, 104. I almost feel like if we add Caleb Williams here, we get CeeDee Lamb and we get back Matthew Stafford. This might be Trevor Lawrence is who I was going to say. Am I crazy for suggesting this trade? Are we giving up on Caleb Williams far too early, or are we actually building the pieces? Is this our actual stone we're missing? This is the time stone.
I would feel more confident if he had Sam Darnold to do this trade.
But think about it. He already has 4 quarterbacks.
No, I understand. But what if one of these guys goes down and JJ McCarthy is not the starter?
If he did this trade, Badaki, he would have Daniels, Lawrence, Nix, McCarthy.
You have Lawrence. Hold on, let me look at the graphic.
No, I'm telling you, in the trade, we'd get Lawrence back. Let's be honest. The 102 and the 104 is not going to land you CeeDee Lamb. But if you can hand them on a platter, the chosen one, and still get back Trevor Lawrence, who, by the way, Trevor Lawrence and CeeDee Lamb Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams might average the same amount of points per game in the next 2 years. I think this is a high IQ trade.
I would do this trade. I don't want to put too much.
And by the way, why wouldn't the guy
goes there?
Why wouldn't the guy who you're sending this trade to not accept this? Look at their team. This sends them into the rebuild they need. I mean, shoot, if you want some more security, ask them to throw in Cooper Kupp.
Security on this team.
Ask them to throw in Cooper Kupp. I don't know. What does the chat think? I think this is brilliant.
John,
because
how do you feel about this?
Think about this for a second, all right? Because let's look through his team. You would now have a team that consists of Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, Trevor Lawrence. Your running backs would be Bijan, Bucky still. I guess that leaves RB3 very vulnerable. So maybe we don't do this move now that I'm thinking about it. But you would have Bucky, Bijan. You'd have Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Bowers, Brian Thomas, Adunze Worthy, Kupp. No Worthy, but Kupp, Reed, McMillan. But the more I think through this, I'm kind of talking myself out of it because we need help at running back still. So, yeah, maybe that's not the right move.
So I just really feel like I need a running back in the first.
I agree,
want to get
Sean.
a running back in the first. Okay, so you get a running. So let's retract here. So let's get a running back either.
Well, how about
we use the 102 to get max value, use the 104 to get a running back,
well,
or whoever.
Let's try and use the 104 to get Bucky Irving. Who has Bucky Irving?
He has
Bucky Irving, dumbass. Can we add a Jahmyr Gibbs to this roster?
I don't know how.
Well, I think that would be 102 plus.
I feel like it has to be the 102 and the 104 plus. Like that's how much
it's not possible. You're better off adding a veteran with the 206, actually.
Yeah. So you sell 102, get max value for
Get
sell the
James
102 for a wide receiver, get the 106, get a veteran running back, or get James Conner.
At the
Because you
206,
have Trey Benson.
get
That's
James
great.
Conner. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
that's
was gonna
great.
say, because you have Trey Benson already. That would be
Get
perfect.
Chuba Hubbard
Well,
as well.
you're gonna have to
You got
cost
Jonathan Brooks.
more than that. You'd have to
Well,
pay like
not
the
more than
206
106.
and Jaden Reed or something, which I think we would both probably pay.
For Chuba Hubbard. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're probably better off veteran route actually. 206. I mean, like your Alvin Kamara's, Joe Mixon's. You know?
Maybe we should make him a baby Thanos.
Yeah, I like it. Let's do
the first main pathway, baby Thanos.
Baby Thanos pathway. We're not going to put full respect on your name just yet. But let's play out this world really quickly. I love doing this. Okay, so we don't have the 102 anymore, guys. I'm sorry, it's gone. But at the 104, we do take Omarion Hampton. Okay? And then we've turned the 206 into James Conner. Okay? Let's think this through. So now your team, we've added Nico Collins in the 207. We've added Omarion Hampton. We've added James Conner. So we've got Daniels, Nix as our starting lineup. Bijan Bucky with James Conner as a depth piece. Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas, Roma Dunze, Brock Bowers, and we still have those second-round picks. We still have the 207 to play around with. That is my favorite path forward for this team. But you can really play this so many different ways, and I hope that this has been really helpful. I've had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, this is great, Sean.
And I want to know if Sean has any questions, anything that we haven't discussed. But I've had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, appreciate you, Sean. If you have any questions, I will let you know you will receive this within 48 to 72 hours. You will receive a digital version of your playbook in the Flock Fantasy message system there, with all the information that we spoke about, all these trades on the chalkboard, all the positional gradings, all your league priorities, your untouchables, your holds, your easy drops, and your main pathway forward, which is really baby Thanos, which is in reality a contender, super contender. I feel like there's little nuances in between being a Thanos and a contender. But yes, you are right in that way where you can really take over this league at any point in time. But we appreciate you. Once again, if you have any other questions, please let us know. But phenomenal team. Yeah, great team.
I love it. I love it. I would do the London trade as well, and then we'll highlight your Bo Nix trade because you should definitely process that one through. Sean says, very helpful. Thanks a lot. Been a pleasure. Glad to get the title, Baby Thanos. Yes. I think that's actually perfect because, look, there will be a team that we review where we look at it and we're like, you are the definition of Thanos, and it might undervalue the Thanos, tag. But your team is a baby version of it. Yeah, they're growing up. You're growing up as a purple... purple being. I don't know what I'm saying. But we appreciate you, Scrooty. That was a fun one to talk about. Should we go to Spence?
Yeah.
All right. How many more do you want to do?
How many have we done so far?
We have done 4 so far. We'll do the offline version as well for the showcaser afterwards.
So 6, 7. Maybe we can do. I'm happy to do 2 more. Let's finish the ones that have been waiting for more than 2 days and let the 1 days go for the weekend.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good.
How about you fill out? So Spence and then Shane Lee.
Just to anybody out there who is curious, because I know we don't always give you guys like an update, and some of you may or may not have been watching from the beginning, but if you want your team playbook, because what we just did for Scrooty, is we did his review live, but he's also going to get his team playbook completely customized to his league, his team, a game plan for the offseason. That will be sent to him within 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy site. if you want your team playbook and a live review, there's 2 ways you can get it. The first way is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. It is easily the best bang for your buck. Not only do you get a team playbook, a live review, you also get our 2025 rookie report. Only version 1.0 out right now, but version 2.0 will come out after the Senior Bowl. Very excited. Scouting players. I just scouted Matthew Golden. I cannot wait to talk about Matthew Golden. I'm obsessed, and the hype is valid. But yeah, you get the rookie report as well. Then you get literally all the premium tools on the website. Every premium tool that's on the website, the prospects model that's been sitting in there, the historical databases, like the rankings, the trade finder, the calculator, all that you get available to you. You also get a free voucher for a trade question as well. Now, the other option is if you don't want to become a yearly member, or if you're already a member on a different promo code, the other option is using the pinned comment. That is just like a direct link to our Flock Fantasy store. So you can go to the team review section, right? If you haven't linked up your team, you can do so. But if you have an MFL league, you can leave your league ID or screenshots. But once you click your league, you hit continue. Make sure you click your team, right? Make sure you're submitting the right team and the right draft picks are there. Double check your draft picks. Then when you hit continue, you'll see Zach and Badaki here. The baseline is an offline review, so you'll just get sent that detailed game plan playbook. But it's just $10 more to get the live review alongside of it, right? So, yeah, we've covered all of our bases. Let's go to Spence's review here.
By the way, just so you know, you can't link two of the same teams on 2 different accounts, so I would recommend that you remove that.
I did remove it.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't see it. Just want to make sure, because if Sean is trying to link your team to his Flock Fantasy account, he won't be able to until you unlink it.
Yeah. No, I unlinked it. I made sure to do that. By the way, Back in Action says, "Hey guys, love your advice. It's been super helpful. You did my review 3 days ago, and I don't see the playbook for the review you did. Should it appear under the messages tab?"
It's actually, I was finishing all of them today, and I'm going to send them out right after this live stream.
Okay,
so you should be.
So what was your team name, Back in Action, by the way?
What was your team?
Or your username?
Because I finished all the ones from those days and should be going out today. It's a 72 hours there.
Yeah.
So you should be getting that right after the live stream here today.
Yeah, we should be sending out a huge batch of them.
Yeah.
All right. Spence. Let's go ahead and look at Spence here.
Yeah, Spence V. Appreciate you. You said, "What a powerhouse team in my league." I pretty fucked anyways. Got some draft capital. Have some make or break decisions to be made. Not sure what to do. I hope you fellas can help me out a bit with some trade suggestions and maybe draft targets. Appreciate the help, boys. Have all my own 27
This has
picks.
got to be someone from Australia or the UK, because Americans don't say A. They don't say, or it could be Canadian as well. What a powerhouse team, A. Pretty fucked. Like, that just sounds like something an Australian would say. That's hilarious. All right, I'm just making sure we're still connected. We are.
Yeah. By the way, before you go, Back in Action, just let me know your Flock Fantasy username, so I know.
Warfare, he said.
Did he? Okay. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yours definitely done. Is going to be sent today.
Yeah. And
awesome.
And yeah, just feel free to email us if you guys ever have any issues with that. fantasylandfootball@gmail.com.
Appreciate you. All right. Let's have a look at this team. He is ranked 9 out of 12. This is a 1 quarterback, 12 team. Start 8. It's a meat and potatoes, meaning he can start up to 4 wide receivers or 4 running backs here.
2 flex spots.
Yeah, 2 flex spots. And
okay.
Awesome.
You know what? This league is pretty fucked. Let's look at Casa real quick. So Casa is like the definition of a Thanos here. Yeah. Casa is a Thanos. And then it looks like the rest of your league has just been completely dominated by him. I wonder if he was an experienced Dynasty player. You guys were all friends. You got into a league together, and then he took advantage of everyone, which you can't blame him for doing. But yeah, okay, Team 9, go ahead. Let's have a look at this. 1 quarterback. Yeah. 12 teams, start 8.
Okay, awesome. At the quarterback position, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, and Joe Milton. I think that's a good quarterback room. Obviously, maybe getting some, or actually, it's one quarterback, so you're chilling
Yeah.
with Lamar and Justin Herbert. It's phenomenal. At the running back position, Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Trey Benson, and the list goes on there. So Etienne had a big fall off. Benson not becoming the guy we wanted him to be yet, with James Conner there. And at the wide receiver position, A.J. Brown, Waddle, and really that's it. Really worth mentioning. And you have some high upside guys, maybe a Troy Franklin, and then David Njoku at the tight end position with Dalton Kincaid, which is also probably one of the biggest disappointments of 2024.
Yeah, Kincaid was about as average as it comes, and a lot of people were viewing him as like this
Kyle Pitts vibes, really.
It is actually not that far off. I mean, Brock Bowers
Well,
really is the chosen one.
100%. So, look, the team overall, you really only have two pieces that are worth mentioning here, and that's Lamar Jackson and A.J. Brown. Probably not even A.J. Brown on this team build, but...
You mean A.J. Brown might not... You're going to point him towards a rebuild, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's why you're saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The team is pretty bad, and we only have one first. The seconds, I'm not sure they're going to matter much, but... At least we have our 26th first-round pick. That's great because we probably need to put this in a rebuild. I think this is a full rebuild. I mean, you look across the board, there's just no scenario where we use your picks and we're competing, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, I almost don't think there is an untouchable on this team. I think your untouchables are your future first-round picks. This is a full rebuild. You can hold Jalen Waddle right now, I would say. You can hold Trey Benson. You can definitely drop Gabe Davis, Mike Williams. And this is a full rebuild pathway. It's the complete opposite of what we were just reviewing. A lot of work to be done. But we can definitely get this in the right direction. The unfortunate part is while you have Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert, which would be incredible for Superflex, for a one quarterback format, they're not valued the same. You can't use them in trades the same to rebuild. It's just not the same thing, unfortunately.
Well, that's why I would just say I'm going to put Lamar Jackson potentially as an untouchable. Because of the value that you probably can't get for Lamar, and you might as well just hold him in that, unless you get a haul. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd be willing to trade him because a rushing quarterback, how long will he be able to hold that status?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this team is competing in the next 2 years.
Okay, that's fair.
I think his
I
first are
agree.
more untouchable than Lamar.
I completely agree. I'm just saying if you didn't want to go that route and you wanted to keep Lamar, sure. But yes, I think Lamar most likely be one of the guys we will bring here today. And if I'm not mistaken, this is, if he's still here with us, Steve Coral. He was in the chat earlier. He said, I hate the review to be the review that follows this one. Oh, maybe that's not him. That's just somebody just saying a comment.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think you're right there. A.J. Brown and Lamar might be the only names people are interested in trading for. We can go ahead and try and move Dobbins and Javonte as well, just for something, you know?
Yeah.
I don't mind moving David Njoku either. Dalton Kincaid you can keep and hope he turns it around.
Oh, Spencer's here.
Hey, Spence. This is your team, I assume? Well, you come here for honesty. You come here for transparency.
Hey, Spence, this is your team. Good. Just to let you know, we're going to be completely honest with you. Okay?
If I had to give this team a grade, considering draft capital and everything, I probably am putting this D.
Maybe just D.
D flat. I was gonna say D plus to make it feel less harsh, but it's a bad team. The draft capital, at least you have some seconds. Let's put that as a A minus, B plus. Let's just put it as a B plus. He says came for some professional advice. Yes. Okay, so yeah, just know that we're not being rude. We're being honest. All right, hopefully that's clear. Team's not good, brother, and the draft capital that you have is not going to turn this thing around for you to compete in a year or two. It's just not. It's full rebuild. Everything is about, in my opinion, building towards the 2027 class. Okay. We can trade away Lamar. We can trade around AJ. If any of these other guys have any value, I think it's worth doing. Even if you get seconds for some of these names, like your Javantes and your JKs, maybe you can use those seconds in future drafts to tier up or to try and get future first with different pieces. So yes, let's talk about his draft capital, because at least he has some. Now, it is a one quarterback league, but the unfortunate part is this quarterback class isn't very good, so it's not like these second round picks are going to be elevated by any quarterbacks in a one quarterback format. Like I personally would not spend a first round pick in a one quarterback league on any of the quarterbacks in this class, so that hurts the value of these picks for him. I wouldn't spend a quarterback, maybe a late second I'd spend on Shedeur Sanders, but I really don't know that I would be comfortable spending a second or a first round pick on a quarterback. So it just devalues these picks a little bit. But when in a one quarterback format, Genty's going to be gone. Tet's probably gone. So you're probably in the Luther Burden, Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson range. And to me, this sort of team, I don't really care about running backs at this point, but if they're the best player available, we can grab one. But I think probably, let's say Burden is a Bronco. Let's say Burden is a Commander, or someone trades up, a team that we like. He's in a good spot. I think he's probably the move, assuming Tet McMillan is not available, right? Because I'm just assuming he's going to be off the board already. Then you come to the 203, and like in this range, is this a 10 team or a 12 team? 12, right? Yeah, so I don't think tight ends are going to be available there, but I mean, like, this is where you take shots in some of these running backs, I think. Like your Giddens of the world, Samsons of the world, your Devin Neals, your Jarquez Hunters, your Harold Fannons, if you don't want to go tight end, your Jack Besh, your Trey Harris, this is that type of range here.
204
and then from that point onwards, we really can't tell you exactly what range we're looking at right now in January. We'll have to really know what the draft looks like. But you just go true BP at every one of these picks. Like, literally, it does not matter if we talk about it right now. It's just so far out. Now, let's talk about trading away Lamar Jackson, because I personally feel like he's just not going to fit our timeline. As a rushing quarterback who ages, he could be the exception. But if we want to focus on 2027 to compete in that really, really strong class, by the way, and I'll put this in the notes, but every trade you make, target 2027 first round picks. That class looks absolutely stacked. So that's the class we're going to want to target right now.
2027.
But if we move Lamar Jackson, what I want to sort this league by quarterback strength, and I want to find the team that's competing but needs quarterback. For example, the lowest ranked quarterback room is...
Go ahead, say it. I'll say it with you. Go ahead. You say it first, though.
I'm not allowed to, legally.
You say it first.
And I won't. And you're not going to find a way to cancel me today. But if you want to, you're allowed to. Unless you're handing me a card.
I'll give it to you right now.
No, I won't do it.
On live stream. Come on.
But this guy could definitely use a quarterback The issue is, like, I mean, who do you even want on his team? He doesn't have any draft capital. That's the issue.
No.
There's no draft capital. I mean, the only players we'd really be interested in is like Gibbs, Neighbors. He's not going to move those guys. That's just not going to work. Team 11 has A-Rich and Goff, and they also have Rashee Rice.
No draft capital.
I think Rashee Rice would be perfect if we were able to pull that off. Would you do that straight up? In a one quarterback.
It just feels like a ripoff even in one quarterback, I'll be honest with you.
Okay, let's add the 211. I think it's pretty fair in a one quarterback.
I'm just curious to see what Keith Drake has.
I mean, do you think you could add Jalen Wright?
What was the thing that you said you can add?
The 211, so late second.
So a late second. I'm just okay. That the Keith Drake cut says that's even.
I think so, but I mean, if you want to go a different direction, you can go Rashee Rice plus Jalen Wright plus the 211, right? You want to add a little bit more lottery tickets, little scratchers to it. I mean, you could target Keon Coleman too. Honestly, like that actually might be your best option because we don't believe in Keon Coleman, but he's a fun scratcher. So
yeah, Rice plus Keon just feels better.
I think
I'd rather do that than the 211.
That feels like the better option so far.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
I really don't think the team who has Jordan Love is disinterested in Lamar Jackson, but I also don't think they'd be willing to give you like Drake London. What is a mid first say on KTC for Lamar?
A mid first in 2025. What year? 2025.
This year.
Says Lamar is winning by nearly 4,000 points.
So Lamar is worth way more than the 105. Could we get the 105 and I don't know, Jordan Love, and just kind of swap it out? What do you think? I don't know.
Yeah, I like Jordan Love. I would try. Well, that's really it. There's no young pieces. So
you can do like a 105 plus a future first. This might be the first thing you should try. Plus,
that's what. Yeah.
Add in your 204.
Yes, that's perfect. I'd rather do that than go for players. And I felt the same way with the first trade with like the Lamar and Rice. I think the reason why I feel this way is because I think Lamar is most likely going to be a top 5, let's just say top 10 quarterback for the next 3 years.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Or in fantasy, specifically fantasy.
As he gets older,
sure,
in your timeline,
value for your timeline. That's why I think you should be able to get first because of his rushing upside. So we will feel confident in the next 2 years Lamar should be a top 5 quarterback in fantasy. So in reality, I should be getting multiple firsts.
I think the 105 in the future first is the best one so far.
Yeah, I think so as well. I like that.
All right, let's keep looking. Concussion protocol has the 101. I assume there's no way you can get the 101. Yeah, this team doesn't work.
Mahomes, Michael Penix,
unless it's like Olave in a future first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to work. And again, these future firsts, you want them to be in 2027, ideally. It's a great time to sell Lamar. Like, to be fair for Spence, like, at least it's a great time to sell Lamar because he just had an incredible season. This team doesn't make sense. The team that has Stroud could work.
Yeah, I think this team Stroud could work. Maybe you can get a Trey McBride in something, or...
The issue is they're not going to sell Trey McBride if they already have Purdy, Stroud, and Lawrence. They're just going to create a new problem for themselves. I think this team isn't going to work unless you get their
it has
future.
Kelsey, though. Well, I guess Kelsey doesn't really matter right now.
Who has Kelsey?
Doesn't our dude have Kelsey?
Remind me.
That's the N-word. Never mind. He doesn't. He has Njoku.
Okay.
I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah, no, it just doesn't make sense. This team doesn't work, I don't think. Unless you get Johnny Boy's, like, I'd say 27 first from Johnny Boy, because his team looks like it could fall apart, plus something. Like,
because his team is older.
Ricky Pearsall.
Well, not really, just a running back room.
Okay. I don't think there's other teams that are going to be willing. There
I'm gonna trade.
other
Yeah.
teams are pretty solid at running our
All
quarterback.
right. Now let's look at teams that are competing that need a wide receiver.
Yep, I'm right there with you. Team 8, maybe WAP Nation could use him. They have the 111, which isn't enough. But what about the 111 and a 27 first?
Yep, I'm okay with that. I think to get that deal done as well, I'm happy to give one of your seconds personally.
Yeah.
If they feel like, oh, that's just way too much for AJ Brown.
And a 1 quarterback, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Another team that could make sense. How about team 2 or 3? Dark Knight Defenders. Like the 105 and a future first plus something. So, for example, you give AJ Brown and the 203 for the 105 and the 2027 first from that team. You could do the Marvin, like you could actually do Marvin swap here. Would you do Marvin in the 205? I would.
Yeah, that's younger. He gets younger.
Yeah. Because people today, I released the wide receiver ranking video, and people thought it was silly that I had Marvin ahead of AJ. So it's possible. You know.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I like going to Marv a lot.
Yeah, let's highlight that.
I like the idea of like a Ayuk in a 27 first. I think that makes a lot of sense too. Roma Dunze in a 27 first makes a lot of sense.
That feels better for me, Rome.
I really like that Roma Dunze one, actually. Let's highlight that one. So I think that's kind of the range you're in right now. Maybe balls deep. Do they have anything?
They got deep balls.
Yeah, I mean, you could do 106 in there, 27 first, if you wanted. So I think that's kind of where most of your meat of this rebuild begins. And then, you know, for your J.K. Dobbins and Javonte Williams, I think you're looking for a early second because it's 1 quarterback. And it can be in a later year from a team that you think isn't going to be competing really well, you know?
Yeah.
Javonte Williams,
like
maybe
that as
a
well.
mid-second is what you should expect. And then David Njoku, I think I'd like to use him to get a first in a future year. So, like, I'd like to attach Njoku with the 204 and the 212, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I'd like to find a team out there, future 27 first, and we can even throw in, like, any number of these running backs. Dobbins. You know, like, you can consolidate pretty much across the board with this roster. You can throw in... What's our team name again? I keep forgetting. Velocity Jake.
Yeah.
You can throw in Amari Cooper. You know, you
Amari,
can throw in Javonte, not Trey Benson. You can throw in Dobbins, not Etienne, if that were to work. So, I think that is the way I would approach this team. And, like, let's just play out this world. So, we've highlighted we've highlighted 4 trades that we really love. Let's just play out a world here where we do send away Jackson and AJ Brown, but we end up with Luther Burden at the 103. So we add Luther Burden, we add Rashee Rice, we add Keon Coleman, we add Marvin Harrison and the 205. I actually prefer Roma Dunze in the 27 first. So let's go that direction. So we have Roma Dunze, we have a 27 first, we have Rice and Coleman, we lost Jackson and AJ. But we still have picks built around the future. We have Bird in there. We have, you know, a bunch of young assets that we can kind of build around. And our future is very clearly defined. again, maybe you turn Njoku and a bunch of pieces into a first, or Dobbins and Javante into some sort of second round picks that give you more ammunition to go get future firsts. But your direction is very clear. And then you just try to hit kind of dart throws on these second rounders.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's a great lineup there. Appreciate you, Spence. Let us know if you have any other questions, since you are here.
Yeah, let us know if you
know...
feel like we haven't hit on anything you had had originally hoped that we did.
Yeah, obviously I know full rebuild is never exciting to hear in a Dynasty team review, but that's okay because we're trying to set you up for the future where you can get those multiple championships later. But you will be receiving this within 48 to 72 hours, a digital playbook on the Flock Fantasy Message system where you can see a customized playbook for you with all the information that we went, all those trade options as well, so you can continue to build your team throughout the years. But we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Do want to give you your time to shine, so please let us know if there's anything we didn't cover, but might not be the brightest review as far as like it might sound harsh, but it's the honest to God's truth. And by the way, don't sell AJ and Lamar just because you need to. Make sure you get proper value for them. You can hold on to them if no one's going to give you proper value. But all right, we are going to go and move on. So, well, actually, that's it because we need to do an offline review. That would make 6 reviews for today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the showcase whose we'll do offline will be 6. And yeah, now's a very good time to get these reviews in because this queue is starting to shorten up a little bit. So now's a great time to get your reviews in. It hasn't been this short since we came back from break. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. It's good to get through all these, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Appreciate you, Spencer. Guys, that is it for today. We appreciate you big time. I'm sure you guys know how to get a team playbook by now. We've said it so many times on the stream. If you do have any questions, though, please feel free to DM us on any platform or leave a comment on the video afterwards. But we appreciate you big time. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back Sunday night, probably, depending on playoff games. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you guys then. Love.